Have a seat.
Hey guys, I'm sure you're wondering why you're here, and I promise you I'm going to get to that here in just a bit. But before I do, I have some stories that I'd want to share with you guys. There have been so many memories that have led up to this moment right now, and so many memories that have helped form the way that I feel about your daughter. There's so many things that I love about Joleene, and I'd just like to share a few of those things with you if you don't mind. I remember when I first met Jo 7 years ago. She was 14, I was 16. I feel like we were so young then. And I remember her walking into the high school band hall, and I actually still remember what she was wearing that day. She had on this blue D-Now shirt and some running shorts, and shortly afterwards I realized that we were in the same section, we were both playing percussion, and it wasn't long after that we really just hit it off. I remember talking all the time with her, and during football games and band competitions, and always being shushed by Miss A, and just really developing this great friendship in those years. And we didn't talk a whole lot, but when we did, it was always something that I really enjoyed. But it wasn't until my senior year that things really changed for us. The more we talked and hung out, the more I walked her to class, the more I just really began to fall for her. Her sense of humor, her adorable nerdiness, her out-of-my-league beauty, just her boldness, her love for the Lord. All of these things were just like snowballing. They were driving me crazy. I just wanted to be around her. I joined tennis just so I would have an excuse to talk to her. And I'm sure you guys remember us walking across the street of your old house and just playing tennis with Caleb and Jay just about every night. Man, those were just really good days. Finally, after a few months of this, I worked up the courage to ask her to be my girlfriend. It was the night of graduation, and honestly, Jo doesn't know this, but I had this huge date planned for us that was supposed to happen a few days later, but seeing her that night, it just made me realize that I couldn't wait any longer. So driving home, I kind of just said it. I was kind of like, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? And luckily, she didn't care at all, and she just said yes. Mike made sure that I filled out this boyfriend application first that he had prepared for me. I really appreciated that, Mike. Thanks. At the very beginning, we had so many just little adventures the first few months. Walking around town, playing tons of ultimate frisbee with our friends, jumping over fences to break into the practice football field. Even our first kiss on the top of your guys' old roof. Things were just amazing the first few months, and we spent every free moment together. Then a few months in, things got a little bit more complicated. I'm sure you guys remember that I had to move away to Lubbock, and we quickly realized that things were going to change for us. We couldn't spend every moment together and just see each other whenever we wanted. I was either at school or she was, and we were studying, or I was at church, and talking was really difficult, honestly. But it was in this season of our lives where I truly fell in love with Joleene. And the hardest parts of this time was when I really felt her care for me the most. She made such an effort to make me feel like a priority, to make me feel worth it. I remember telling her that I loved her for the first time. I'd felt it for weeks already, but I was just scared of saying it, honestly. I didn't want her to think that I was crazy or that I was jumping the gun and coming in too fast. But she could see right through me. I remember leaving one night, and she looked me square in the eyes and said, "Is there something that you want to tell me?" But in classic Josh fashion, I kind of panicked and said, "No, it's too soon. We're too young." Then the boldness that I love so much about Jo came out, and she said, "I don't think any of that's true. Just tell me what you feel about me." So I said, "I love you, Joleene." And I remember her smiling from ear to ear and saying, "I love you too, Joshua." It's one of my most cherished memories. So fast forward 2 years, and for the first time in what seems like a lifetime, we're finally going to be living in the same city. And Jo had just graduated high school, and she was going to be moving to Lubbock with Gina, and like just a few blocks away from my house. I can recall perfectly just helping you guys move into your house on Quaker and thinking something like, it's finally happening. Jo and I are going to be in the same city. The hard part of our relationship is going to be over. And for a few months, we lived in that bliss. And God, who loves to change up our perfect plans, decided that that wasn't to be. And I got a call from my older brother. He was offering me my first full-time job as a worship leader, something that I had always felt personally called to do. And the catch was, though, that it was 8 hours away in Corpus. I knew it's what I needed to do, but honestly, I just didn't want to. Things were perfect the way that they were right then. My family, my friends, and Jo were all in Lubbock, and it just didn't make any sense for me to leave, right? We had just started living in the same place. So reluctantly, I sat Jo down and told her the situation. I told her my dreams, but I also told her my fears. I told her about my calling, but I was horrified that, fulfilling that calling would mean losing her. But in typical Joleene fashion, she said, "I think you should go. I think it's where God needs you, Josh. I want you to go. Well, actually, I don't want you to go, but if it means that you're going to be fulfilling what God has for you, then I support you 100%. I can't tell you guys how much that meant to me, how much it spoke to me about her character, and just at the expense of her own comfort and happiness, she wanted what was best for me. Right then I needed her support more than anything, and she proved to me that she was every bit of the girl that I thought she was. So I did it. I picked up all my stuff and moved. It was the hardest thing that I ever had to do, and I'd always said that I didn't want a long distance relationship, but she was worth it. The next few months were as hard as I thought they would be. I thought living an hour apart was hard. I had no idea the challenges that were in store for us living 8 hours apart. But then finally I got some great news. Jo was going to be coming to Corpus Christi, and this time for good. She told me that she was coming to school for the biology program, but we all know that it was really for me. But she's way too independent to ever admit that. So here we were, January 4th, 2015. I was helping Jo move all of her new stuff into her new apartment, and it was no more than like 50 yards from mine. We had never been closer. And it was at that moment that I decided that I never wanted Jo to move again unless we were doing it together. Actually, I have a note here on my phone that I started on January 6th, 2015 called Proposal Idea. And every time that I would come and edit it, I created like tons of fake notes. That way she wouldn't be able to see it and it would get pushed to the bottom. But that's why I'm making this video. That's why I called you guys in advance, and that's why you're here. Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Hey, how are you? Yeah, you guys are here because I love Joleene so much, and nothing would make me happier than you guys giving me your blessing to make her my wife.
You're awesome. You have my blessing.
You got my blessing.
So much. Absolutely.
Joleene Reed, I love you so much. Will you marry me?